want to show you guys a very basic comparison between this game and Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm going to be doing a very simple, not optimal combo with Android 16, but you can see it does follow a very similar structure as you would expect from these types of games from Arc System Works. And if you are used to these things, it'll be very simple to pick up and play. Guys, we just got back from Evo. I played a ton of Tokon and we got a lot to talk about. If I don't answer your question in this video, please comment down below and let's get a discussion going. I want to make sure I answer all of your questions. I originally went in with the intention of maining Iron Man because, let's be real, he keeps getting disrespected in the last few Marvel game trailers. In one of my matches, I ended up accidentally switching into Star-Lord, but I ended up falling in love with Star-Lord's gameplay the most. I played the most time with Star-Lord, so we gotta talk about him first. Check out this 53 hit combo from Max's stream. It's a 2H starter, which will be common to land since it is the universal anti-air move in this game. And early on, a lot of people are going to be jumping around a ton, which you can punish with this. Landing this will cause your character to follow up the launcher, bringing you towards the enemy. And from what I remember, these are what the inputs most likely are. 2H into medium heavy, then 214 heavy, which will cost 25 meter. And if you use the heavy version, it's going to knock the enemies down and perform an enhanced version while also doing the insane high ceiling Dante spinning downward gun move. Which, yes, by the way, Star-Lord has a lot of Dante-like moves. He's basically gun-only Dante. And now he's going to land here at the bottom, which has another hitbox, and he calls in Storm's assist to extend the combo while giving him time to close the gap. When you dash forward, you can tap R1 to shoot the element that you currently have equipped. Right now, he has the ice element equipped in this clip, but in another Star-Lord specific video, we're going to talk a lot about his kit and what exactly each element does, because you can change this. This causes a freeze to extend the combos even more, and then you can dash forward, they hit standing medium to standing heavy, Doom's assist, and then the level 1 super, which is 236 medium plus heavy, which causes another freeze at the end of that. And in the end of the combo, they do a 214 medium, which is a sliding attack that has medium range that ends with knocking down enemies. 53 hits and costs a total of 50 skill gauge to execute this for about half health damage dealt and only use 2 assists. Now, I'm not showing this in a sense to show off to you guys saying how crazy the combos are and that you should learn this ASAP. I'm just kind of bringing this up to show you all that are familiar with Arc System Works games and Dragon Ball FighterZ so you can get a better understanding of exactly how you go about doing these moves. I don't recommend learning 60, 80, 50 hit combos immediately. Always learn the mobility, what moves are safe, what moves you can use to punish. The strong fundamentals will go a really long way rather than learning combos, and combos are fairly easy in this game. You guys will pick it up very simple. So majority of Arc System Works players are going to be used to it due to the potential of also easy inputs that you can do. There are motion inputs, which most people were doing, but there are easy inputs you can execute on the screen as showed here with the command list. These are the command list moves for Star-Lord, and there's one for each character already uploaded, which you guys can find around. I'll be linking them down below in the description if you want to take a look at it. The quick skill input is actually the right trigger. I was playing on controller, so you can easily execute those moves and these moves with just one button and one direction. So for example, quad blasters, instead of doing a quarter circle forward and attack button, you could just press the right trigger. Very easy. And then for Ravager Rush, which is the low hitting slide move, you can just press back and R2. That's exactly how that reads right there. At most, majority of us only had 1 hour of playtime to kind of practice. And of course, you're not going to immediately pick up the game and master it within that time. But you can already tell that Arc System Works DNA is in this game. And if you played their other games enough times, you'll pick up the movement and combo routes pretty easily. First impressions, I was surprised at how little I noticed my 3 other teammates or was even prompted to switch to them. Almost always, in the very first few games, anytime I switched to another character, it was done entirely by accident, because when you call them out, there is very quickly an X button prompt over their head to switch to them. This actually appears on the last assist that you called in. So if you called in a bunch of them, the last one that will be on screen is the one that will prompt you to switch to. At first, this was annoying because, hell, we're all kind of just button mashing and not trying to switch. And then it just kind of happens because we're still getting used to the movement. We're still getting used to how fluid the assist is and how exactly that'll work when you click it in between your moves. And of course, when we're practice, while we're still getting a feel for this, it just won't matter around then. Spider-Man and Ghost Rider were not playable, which was very disappointing because walking up to the Tokon booth, you could see them plastered all over it, which looks so cool. I mean, it kind of makes sense for Spider-Man, at least with how much they showed in the reveal trailer. He kind of was just getting his ass kicked the entire time and clapped up by everyone. I think he got hit the most in the trailer, which is kind of canon, but they were just not ready to, I guess, include him in this game. I can't say the same for Ghost Rider because we see a significant amount of his moves, but he also wasn't playable. And I guess they didn't want to overwhelm us with 8 characters to start off with. I only have footage of my second matches thanks to Kenny, and major shout outs to Kenny. You'll be seeing most of that here on the screen. If it wasn't for him streaming this on his channel, we wouldn't have this footage here. So check him out down below if you haven't yet. Unruly on YouTube and Twitch. The first session, I was actually able to line up and play early because of my media badge. In the first game, it was a bit weird. The controller line was a lot shorter compared to leverless and stick, and the dude that I played against, he didn't want to spend any time at all figuring out what buttons were what. He also cut me in the line. It's, you know, shout outs to you, buddy. It's all good. We ended up playing against each other. But first match was mostly using auto combos to get a feel for movement and trying to see what characters want to do, which is typically what I do at first, just to see like if a game does have auto combos, try to see what moves can chain into each other and then manually figure it out on your own. I was playing as Iron Man initially and my opponent was Storm. Iron Man seemed to mostly excel with zoning, but I know that's not always going to be the case, and he's had some great close range moves, at least from what it felt like in the gameplay. I just couldn't really learn his kit as much because the dude I was playing against was not wasting any time and he really wanted to rip my head off. I accidentally switched into Star-Lord during this match, and this is where I fell in love with Star-Lord. He's an actual beast and fairly easy to pick up and play, regardless of whatever his difficulty curve says, so I just kept punishing my opponent's jump-ins and bodying him in the air in 3-0. Unfortunately, right after that first match, they shoot us off of the machines, saying one match was all that we got in order to keep the lines short, which I was disappointed by at first, but then it made sense because of how crazy the lines were going to be. They already knew this going in. This is going to be the ultimate way so that everybody will be able to play. So later, when I bumped into Simmons, he mentioned that he hadn't played it yet. So we got in line, and Kenny came through with a major assist and got us to play during his session instead because he already had opportunity to play. And during the second session, it turns out we got 15 minutes now instead of just one match, so we're actually able to experiment a lot more. I picked Star-Lord off rip, and Simmons, of course, was Doom. He said Doom felt a lot slower, which surprised him, but there was some really cool setups that we could do with Aegis shield projectile, that green shield that Doom can launch out that's pretty slow. Unfortunately, Kenny was only able to stick around for our first match because he had something to do, but we played almost 5 games, I want to say, in total, and by game 5, we were doing some pretty cool stuff, which again is not being shown here in the footage, unfortunately. So don't mind our basic auto combos, that's pretty much what everybody was doing. Doom has a teleport dash and he can phase through you. There's some pretty cool setups I can already see after a knockdown. He can like teleport through you to mix you up on the other side, or he can jump back over to cross you up. During this, he can also call in an assist to really lock you down and shoot from one side while attacking you on the other. As you got, you know, Doom's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I'm telling you. Plus the slow moving shield off of a knockdown. If you apply great pressure, knock down an enemy in a corner, you throw out this shield and an assist. By the time they get up, they just have to wake up blocking, which, by the way, is cool to do. It is not fun to be on the other end of this. So far, the only defensive mechanic that we can find are the alpha counters, which you have to activate on the initial hit. And there is no push block in this game, which is going to be rough. Especially if you play Dragon Ball FighterZ. I mean, at least that game did have a reflect, which ended up being better in the later run, but this game doesn't seemingly have a reflect. And it's gonna be crazy too because you can get a total of 3 assists and you unlock them through the match as you cause stage transitions, grab opponents, wall splat them, or if you get KO'd as a comeback mechanic, you get an assist to join you. And with all of them and pushing out block strings, you can string together very long hits and go through all of your damn assists. It feels like they regenerated so fast and came back into action very, very quickly. I can sort of see this being something that they adjust But of course, it is very fun offensively. Defensively, it doesn't feel so great. Air mobility and instant air dashes felt really good. I noticed a few people saying that the game felt slow, but honestly, coming from this type of background, it didn't feel that way initially for me. Like, yes, Doom, for example, is going to move slower than Captain America, but even with his mobility, it didn't feel too bad to where he was going to get outclassed by other characters that move quicker than him. Miss Marvel was the second character that I put a lot of time into. She immediately feels incredibly good with her kit. Her grab loops can chain almost 6 times. I've seen some people do in combos, and she can keep up a lot of pressure with this. She's been pretty easy to pick up to play, which in my opinion makes her a solid first pick when you guys get your hands on the beta eventually, which is dropping on September 5th until the 7th, which is also, by the way, that beta is going to be PlayStation 5 only, and you can register right now on PlayStation's beta program, so go ahead and do that if you guys haven't yet already. As you gain new teammates to join, your health bar doesn't actually increase just like we thought it did. Instead, it heals you and gives you back health via gray health that you've lost, which means in early matches, having to set up leads into grabs and stage transitions are going to be something you really want to focus on in practice, because it will heal you back and give you the most assists. So this way you can have insane block string pressure and just overall create more damage opportunities against your opponent. And even with all these assists and us being able to swap to different teammates, it didn't really feel like it was necessary to swap to other teammates since they shared the health bar. If anything, that it felt like it would only really benefits you if you knock down your opponent and you know that you have a certain character that just can outclass or body the other teammate. That's an opportunity where I say you could probably switch maybe to like have Doom's like knockdown pressure and whatnot. It didn't seem like it was anything that we really wanted to do, guys. Just like everybody has been saying, I honestly agree with it. It really just feels like a 1v1 fighter with 3 assists. And as a matter of fact, I told this to the woman that at the very end of my playthrough, she asked us to do a little bit of a survey. I told her exactly that, and she said that was really great feedback. She appreciated that. And I also mentioned the push block thing too, but I didn't mention that until the final day. I'm pretty sure she wrote that down, but we'll have to wait and see. I think that's going to be a major thing many people want to see, because the game is fun. We just don't want it to be something where it's like completely one-sided. And if you just don't get that first hit off and you're just fighting with your back to the walls, that's just not fun. If you guys found this video enjoyable, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out. We have plenty more Marvel Tokon videos on the way and plans for combo guides, character guides, and setups and stuff. There's a lot to talk about with this. And if you've been watching me and you didn't know that I like fighting games, which I could totally understand. That was actually quite a lot of what people were telling me over the weekend. Anytime I bumped into somebody that watched our videos, which shout outs to you guys, everybody that said hello to us, man, it was a ton of you. I was actually very shocked by that. Many of you all didn't expect me to be at EVO and were kind of confused by that, but it was cool. We chopped it up and I showed off a little bit of our older videos to you guys. Like, we did tons of fighting games before Final Fantasy really took off for us in 2020. I covered a lot of like Arc System Works games. I covered Smash, and I even covered Mortal Kombat 11 as I got demonetized into hell for that. So we covered fighting games for years on the channel, and I'm going to do exactly that with Tokon and also Invincible Versus, which, by the way, shout outs to Curious Joy. She's amazing. She got me to join in with her appointment to play Invincible VS, and had a lot of fun with that, even though she bodied the living hell out of me. I'll be putting out a video sometime this week talking about that. I think that game is going to be really fun to play. If you want to go back and look at some cringy old starter YouTube videos of me playing fighting games, feel free to do that. That's always going to be on the channel for you guys to poke fun at and laugh at. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Marvel Tokon videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.